just admiring. How's the situation?
The water has changed. I was only out there.
Where was he when you...
The abandoned zone.
Closer than I thought.
Locking the door was...
Well, I did try to...
It would probably work on Neuvillette. He has a knack for picking out who had good intentions, even when the outcomes were all terrible.
It's a bad sign if you're having to plead your case to Neuvillette. Want some tea?
Not...
Fine, I'd like to get...
Might as well then, I suppose. Actually, do you have a towel? I would like to dry my hair.
Lenny, are you okay? Are you sure?
My hands and feet.
I'm back, everyone.
Lenny! Oh. Freminet?
He'll be fine. But...
His breathing's beginning.
Give me a hand.
Yeah, I'll take it.
On it.
Traveler, you seem pretty worried about him. The Duke and Clarande are gone. They probably went to get some tea.
Take it easy.
He's awake.
Lenny. Lynette.
We're all here.
The infirmary. How do you feel?
The sea. There's something wrong with the...
Shh, it's...
No, listen to me. This is really serious. There's primordial seawater mixed into the regular pipes. Right, the pipes. It's all coming back to me now. I'm in. Seems like this pipe hasn't been used in a long time. Where could Master Child be? This mechanism looks like it's been tampered with. Could he have done it? It's getting stuck on something. Seems like I'll have to avoid those obstacles while I turn it. This is where the water starts. Okay. Master Ch... The vegetation here is a bit more sparse. These traces aren't natural. A person must have left them, and recently. I should be going in the right direction. Oh, there are traces here too. I need to keep going. Huh? The traces are gone. But I don't see where he could have gone from here. Wait. What the... My heart is racing, and it's getting harder and harder to breathe. No good. I have to get back. They still don't know anything about what's going on. If I turn back right now, I should still be able to make it. I can't die here. I have to push on.
So, in other words, the trail you were following...
That's right. I tried my...
Miss Clarande brought you back, but we also don't know why she just suddenly appeared at the fortress, or why she went out to see...
Miss Clarande, you say?
You're still too weak for Monet.
Miss Lynette is right. I believe Miss
A guest? Then I can assume Wriothesley was the one who invited her to come down here?
You should ask His Grace about that. He'll be... Yeah, it's about time he actually told us what's going on. Wanna come with us, Lynette?
No, please go on without me.
Lenny.
The logical part of my...
In that case, I'll leave the infirmary to you. The Traveler and I are going to head out for now. As long as you stay in here, I don't think you'll be disturbed.
Thank you.
Kids these days.
Excuse me?
I take it Mr. Fremen...
Of course! I wouldn't have left the infirmary otherwise.
I've been expecting those two, but might I inquire as to the purpose of your visit, Miss Sigewinne?
I wanted to check up on Miss Cloran. How are you feeling?
Mostly fine.
If you don't mind.
All right.
Well, want to explain yourself, Risley?
Of course, but I'm not partial to the word choice of explain. How about enlighten? But where should I begin? How about you start by asking me any questions you have? You can start with whichever one you'd like to get answered the most.
Then Paimon will begin. Did you know about Lenny's goals from the very beginning?
No. I just knew they were Fatui op-
You managed...
They came here with ulterior motive. Initially, I thought that Lenny suggested. Of course, it's in... I'm also quite curious.
So you were...
You make it sound the Forbidden Zone is...
Are the rumors true?
Why would you put it like...
Oh, right.
Me, of course. As a champion duel...
And saving...
You can think of it like that, yes. Credit where credit is due, that boy is quite adept at diving. Had conditions not been as hostile as they were, he probably would have found the missing Harbinger already. That's not all I need to prove.
But...
You make it compelling.
Yeah, Paimon really...
Even if the truth may not be pleasant, follow me.
Door here? And a whole basement behind it? Huh. You're pretty good at hiding stuff, right?
It seems you forgot. Stand on the central plate.
Wait, is there a secret mechanism or... Whoa! So, this is the Forbidden Zone? Honestly, for a place so well hidden, Paimon sure doesn't see anything special. What a huge door!
There are 3 such isolation gates in total. Generally speaking, I'm the only one who's allowed. Am I correct to assume you're going to run on back and tell your little Fatui friends everything?
Well, Paimon wasn't thinking of keeping anything from them.
Well, I'd advise you wait until you've seen the whole truth of this place for yourself before deciding whether or not to tell them.
Propagate! Huh. So there's a switch up.
Stand back.
Whoa! They all just went up one.
Go on. Have... I've been interested in what lies beyond that gate ever since I assumed leadership of the Fortress of Meropide. Of course, it would be unwise to recklessly open it, but it'd also be risky and negligent to simply ignore any potential danger that could be behind it. The readings on that dashboard have not budged since the day when I first laid eyes on this place. But over the past year, the needle has crept upwards from its original position, likely because some parameter it's been tracking has changed, if only infinitesimally. Normally, I would have ignored it, but I happened to have some free time when I noticed it, so I investigated. Any guesses what the reading could be tracking? Very reasonable guesses. I've considered both of those as well. Unfortunately, our dashboard is tracking something less ordinary. The temperature should vary with weather and climate changes, so for something that rarely shifts, the water pressure is more likely. We ran a few tests. Later on, a few more possibilities occurred to me. Over the past few days, the needle has moved again. With that, and the symptoms that Freminet displayed after leaving the fortress, I can now confidently conclude that the readings represent the concentration of primordial seawater in the seawater nearby.
The concentration of... primordials?
And that is precisely the problem. We're at the bottom of the sea, and now we're surrounded by toxic seawater. Somehow, primordial seawater got mixed in, and the concentration is steadily rising. Yes, that's very likely.
But forget about the two of us! Not even Novelette knows where the primordial sea could be, much less where we could find and plug a leak.
Seems like you've figured it out. I believe the primordial sea lies directly beneath this sluice gate. For some reason, the primordial seawater levels have risen significantly, and it's now very close to us. The indicators are now red. Although the gate still stands, some primordial seawater has already leaked out and mixed into the sea around us. If this continues, soon it will no longer be able to hold back the primordial sea at all. Yeah, you know what the legends say. If this place falls, then everyone in Fontaine will be—
But that's just too weird! Why would the Fortress of Meripede be built right above a sluice gate for the primordial sea? Who built it?
Your expression tells me you think this might be part of a vast, complicated conspiracy. To be honest, you might find the actual— It's just that the secret of the Forbidden Zone had been long forgotten by the nation before I rediscovered it with my research. There's no single founder of the Fortress of Meripede in any traditional sense. What we know about its history has been left to us by the people who used to live here. When the previous Hydro Archon, Egeria, ruled the land, all convicted criminals from Fontaine were exiled. The people drove the criminals away like a wolf pack. The criminals received no sympathy of any kind from the people. They were exiled to the desolate seaside, where they experienced only pain. Some of them began to repent and prayed to the Hydro Archon, asking if there was still anything they could do. The Hydro Archon took pity on them and said, "You may go guard my secret, deep underneath the wave." And so, leaning on the power of the Hydro Archon, they gathered underneath the sea and began to build a fortress. They became a community down there in the deeps, and over the years helped it to grow. As the number of exiles increased, more and more people joined the community. When the first group of exiles, the Hydro Archon continued to lend her support, allowing the fortress and what it stood for to continue growing ever larger. Before long, this dark underwater fortress became the sinner's only home. And with that, the people here stopped referring to the fortress as a prison. They saw themselves as but as time went on, people also realized that the fortress was— Once they had finished serving their sentences, some people left and some others chose to stay. They'd find some idle position and let their After many, many centuries, few people still remember the reason for the fortress's founding. Now they just see it as an integral pillar of Fontainian society, as the place where criminals deserve to— Now and again, researchers manage to break one law or another and live out their days in the fortress.
But now you know every part of that.
Indeed. It's just as the prophecy says. If to be frank, not really. Prophecies are troublesome things. Let's go somewhere else. This is it.
Your Grace, perfect timing. The results from our last round of experiment—
Wait, Jurier, he's not—
Huh?
No need to panic, you two.
What? After you warned us—
I'm skeptical as—
The results speak for themselves, don't they?
All right then, if Your Grace insists.
They seem harmless enough, so I'll trust them for—
How about some reintroductions? This is Jurier, one of the highest-ranked researchers from the Fontaine Research Institute. He used to work under Edwin. I trust that you've heard of Edwin?
He's the one who blew the whole institute sky high.
Edwin's main areas of
You...
Gotta admit—
Guys, focus! Focus!
That taskmaster over there is Miss Lorvine, and is also one of my technical consultants. While Jurier used to be Edwin's assistant, she used to be Jurier's assistant.
Ooh, are they together?
See? Everyone keeps asking this question.
Your Grace, I am not in a relationship with this man!
If I dated her, I'd officially be mad.
Jeez. Follow me.
Whoa, there's another door that goes right up.
Your constant amazement makes it seem like the fortress can do anything.
But Paimon really thinks everything's super cool.
Well, let's spice it up a bit. And here you go.
What a huge ship! This is also a production zone that Paimon's never seen.
How much do you know about Well, then maybe you haven't heard the story of ancient Lemuria. To give you a quick rundown, Fontaine used to be ruled by the Lemurian dynasty. According to legend, the Lemurian king Remus came to this land after being inspired by divine revelation and found the seer Sibila, who had taken on the form of a golden bee. Taking the golden bee with him and riding on a huge ship, the Fortuna, he created his nation above the surging waves. He called his nation Lemuria, and used the Fortuna to incessantly search for new tribes and islands, calling on them to join his empire.
There's a ship in this story too?
Where there's water, there'll be ships. People believe that hope can always be found at the end of a voyage.
Do you believe that too?
To a point, I think. As you've already seen, I have a whole factory's worth of labor, materials, and technology at my disposal. Certainly can't hurt to give it a try. So the moment I began to speculate that the Primordial Sea might lie underneath the gate, I also began this project.
Were you inspired by the
Maybe. Fontainians need something to hold on to cope with the impending disaster. Were the workers to find out the truth behind this ship, riots would destroy the fortress faster than any catastrophe. As the fortress's administrator, I'd never make such a... Alright, that's enough talking for now. I'll need another 3 cups of tea to soothe my throat. Do you have any other questions? Seems like you're good. I'll leave you here for now.
Oh!
No worries. But don't forget, it's up to you whether or not you want to share what you just saw. What you do from here on out will likely affect those 3 as well.
Yeah, we'll put a lot of thought into it.
Great.
Take it easy. Good roll. Alright, maybe I'll take one more day off, and knock out the rest of the work once I'm feeling up to it. Navigating the world is a whole lot easier with a few different identities to choose from. Need me to come up with some for you? Good roll. Alright, maybe I'll take one more day off, and knock out the rest of the work once I'm feeling up to it. I got a new letter from an informant. Looks like the situation has changed again. Navigating the world is a whole lot easier with a few different identities to choose from. Need me to come up with some for you? I got a new letter from an informant. Looks like the situation has changed again. Navigating the world is a whole lot easier with a few different identities to choose from. Need me to come up with some for you? Good roll. Alright, maybe I'll take one more day off, and knock out the rest of the work once I'm feeling up to it. Take it easy.
Welcome back.
How can you be...
Huh. While I was sedated.
Must have been right.
Yeah.
I really...
So, Traveler, Paimon, were you able to...
Yeah, he explained...
Very well. Then, would you mind checking your answers against my speculations? Yeah.
Nobody else is around, and Miss Sijuin is also busy with something.
All right. Then I'll posit my theories. I asked myself, firstly, why was Fremine affected by the primordial seawater? It was because he dove into the sea. My theory...
Ooh!
That's our list.
Secondly, Wriothesley's attitude changed dramatically during the course of our stay here. He ignored us completely at first, then suddenly roadblocked us. Why? I spent quite a long time thinking about this. If he has been monitoring the Fatui since the very beginning, he probably ignored us at first because he was hoping we could find Master Child for him. What's more, the Fortress of Meripede is not part of Fontaine's court system, nor does it report to Iudex Nervulet. Wriothesley is basically the king of a no-man's land. As long as the fortress doesn't do anything about Master Child's disappearance, Father can use it to pressure the Fontaine authorities. And while the two factions are pitted against each other, Wriothesley will be free to move between the parties of interest. If I had to guess, he probably has something that he's...
You're super...
If Wriothesley... that can't be the full extent. I don't have enough...
I can't...
Missy,
Could Risley have... If you remember...
or perhaps he didn't know.
Yeah, that the two of you have... If you ever need anything else, though you may not share the sentiment...
You have...
Thank you for protecting...
Why are you being so formal all of a sudden? Paimon's hungry.
Oh,
Alright, then we'll...
It's time for dinner. Welfare meals.
Come on, let's go pick up ours as well.
Traveler and Paimon, over here.
Are you here for dinner? Huh. You're right.
What would you like to eat? Yep, you can. I've already talked to our chef, Mr. Wolsey. It's all on me today, so you can get whatever you'd like.
Me too, don't...
No problem.
So delicious. Paimon's so happy. Paimon wants...
Feeling full yet? How's the food?
delicious.
I'm Sigewinne? A bit of both, I suppose. I'm a Melusine, which means I'm very different from human beings. I must know what you're thinking if I want to take good care of you.
You're really good at taking care of people. Even though you're so short, you still talk and act like an older sister.
Really? You're reminded of an older sister? That's great to hear.
Oh, and what did you mean back in...
Oh, that, thankfully. Although the path... Oh, and I was... You were all so... Oh. Get a good night's rest.
Clorinde! How's dinner?
It's all right. Miss Siege...
So we heard that Risley invited you to come down to...
Oh.
Still, Paimon didn't know even champion duelists could take on Oh, and why aren't you eating with Sigewinne and the Duke? Won't you get bored eating by yourself?
Miss Sigewinne was with you. Yeah.
First time in a long time. So you mean you've...
In the past. You seem to be enjoying yourselves. Things will be getting messy at the fortress.
A blade embraces its duty, as a jeweler cherishes their gems. So this is a day in the life of the Traveler. I'm learning more about you all the time. A blade embraces its duty, as a jeweler cherishes their gems. I only wish life could be as leisurely as this a little more often. How greedy of me. So this is a day in the life of the Traveler. I'm learning more about you all the time. I only wish life could be as leisurely as this a little more often. How greedy of me.
Is I'm on super. Delicious.
Out of my way! Get what happened? Why is it? No idea, but something must have happened. Stop asking!
What happened? Why is everyone running around? Hey, what are you doing?
No time to explain, mate. Goodbye!
Hey, wait! What's wrong with these people?
They're here! Yeah! There you are!
Oh, thank goodness!
Quisto and Laveroon, do you know what happened here?
We came here especially to inform you. Something seems... Laveroon was saying you two are new here and you don't have many friends, so you might slip through the cracks. Haven't you heard all the stories like that? And
Wait, weren't you the one who brought that up?
Hey, shut up!
Okay, whatever. The point is, you should come with us. Yeah, he said to get as far away as...
Oh no, it can't be that thing!
Whoa, wait, what? What? Hey, where...
We have to go find the Duke! You two just go and get out! Go on without us!
Hey! Be careful!
Attention, please evacuate upwards and outwards, upwards and outwards. If you're already at the topmost layer, then try to move as far outwards as possible. Attention, please evacuate upwards and outwards, upwards and outwards. If you're already at the topmost layer, then try...
His Grace has asked everyone to evacuate out...
Attention, please evacuate upwards and outwards, upwards and outwards. If you're already at the topmost layer, then try to move as far outwards as...
They're here.
Just like I said.
What happened?
Huh.
You're just in time. But be ready to run. Three, 2, 1.
This won't hold it for long. Find Neuvillette. Tell him the defenses are about to collapse.
Then what will happen to you?
Until he arrives, we're the last line of defense. The gate. How long do you think it'll hold?
That depends on us.
Neuvillette? Why are you here?
Traveler, I need you to head to the Opera House immediately. Farina will soon be meeting with the Knave. Will do.
Look! There are a ton of Fatilian Palais Mermonia people over there! The Knave is probably...
Are you two the Traveler in Paimon? Though I'm sure he's already explained, this should be...
Oh, so you two are the honored guests Miss Farina mentioned.
Of course, of course! How could they not attend a meeting such as this? I must always have two—
It is my pleasure to make your acquaintance, traveler. I have heard much of your accomplishments. I am the Knave.
I've already prepared seats for you.
Perhaps you two are unaware of how Miss Farina and I do things. You see, we actually recently agreed to get together for tea when we had the time. See this? This is a limited type of confectionery that Miss Farina simply adores. There are only 16 slices sold every day. Here, why don't you and Paimon have a taste?
Traveler, what do you think of this cake?
That's good to hear. So what Child said was on the mark after all. You do share a taste in desserts with Farina, and I wonder how he's doing nowadays. You must have heard, right? He's suddenly gone missing.
Since we're talking about him, I feel like I should add something. His martial prowess really—
Oh, so you're also familiar with his aptitude for fighting, Miss Farina. Oh, right. I almost forgot. Child was subdued by Iudex Neuvillette right in front of you. Against ordinary people, my colleague would never be on the back foot. But alas, he just never imagined he'd run into such a person. I must express my admiration for Monsieur Neuvillette. Coming.
But I thought you would be happier to hear the news.
Of course, but it's still a bit of a shame. You see, I would have been far happier had I received this news somewhat earlier. As you well know, a long time has passed since Child disappeared.
Well, in any case, there's no need to worry. We know for sure that Child is still—
Oh.
Because,
And where did he go after leaving?
What?
The fortress of Meripede lies deep beneath the waves, unless he pranced right out of them. Ah, that is good news at least. His sister Tonya sent a letter to Fontaine not too long ago. Since he was unfortunately unavailable, I picked it up on his behalf. Do you have any idea how he usually writes back to his family? Dear Tonya, your letter made me feel like we were still enjoying our time in Snezhnaya together. I'm currently admiring the scenery on the streets in front of the Opera House. Is it something like that?
All letters tend to follow the same few formats anyway, right? As long as the contents are—
Hold on. The water in the teacup is shaking.
I suppose this is also a sign of things to come, Miss Farina.
Huh? I don't quite understand what you're trying—
Have we entered into the next stage of the prophecy?
My thanks to you both. I will take it from here.
Sure you don't need a hand?
Quite sure.
Wow. So, what's your secret, huh? Let me guess. Nah, who knows? Maybe it's just your sense of responsibility.
Sounds about right.
day may come when the prophecy is fulfilled and the waters burst forth. But it is not this day! This ancient power could easily obliterate an entire race. A tsunami of fury would unleash endless catastrophe. This sentence is too severe. Forgive me for overruling it.
All right. Seems like the problem inside has been suppressed.
Let me guess. We're safe for now.
Indeed. But only for now.
I win this bet. You owe me a present.
Very well. It was indeed just as you said.
You made a bet?
We made a bet on the size of your entourage. Cloran thought you wouldn't come down by yourself.
I figured you would have at least brought a few people along for appearance's sake. It appears I underestimated just how confidential the mission was.
Shouldn't you have gotten used to confidential missions by now? That's just how the courts operate.
So what gift must the loser give? Tea?
He already has tons of tea in his office. I'm thinking about a set of legal codices.
That wouldn't happen to be a dig at my lack of legal awareness, would it?
Well, I'm sure His Grace doesn't consider the fortress to be outside the law.
I was under the impression the residents of a place like this would be uninterested in the legal codices.
That was obviously a joke. Anyway, you've still got some unfinished business to attend to in the overworld, correct?
No need to stay here if you have a pressing matter. We all know you can't leave Palais Mermonia for long.
Thank you. I hope everything went smoothly with the Fatui Harbinger.
I must say, we've spent long enough playing house. Miss Farina, as the Hydro Archon, I am sure you understand the exact meaning of the phenomenon we just witnessed. Or should I say, that's what I originally thought. But looking at your expression, was I wrong? And you haven't a clue?
What are you trying to say?
At this point, I don't think there's any more need to speak as diplomatic representatives. Allow me to speak to you now as just a Fontainian. You know the prophecy by heart, and also that every part of it is being proven true. Yet, here you are relaxing, drinking tea, and eating desserts as if it's all nothing more than a few stray bugs in your garden. Do you really think that's acceptable? The prophecy's hanging above our necks like a guillotine. Every faction is looking for a way to either avert the disaster or save their own. Even the orphans of the House of the Hearth have devoted everything to saving their homeland. But you? It beggars belief just how nonchalant and carefree you have been. From the very beginning, you, the god Focalors, you have utterly failed to take action.
You're wrong. I've never ignored the prophecy, nor have I just been passing the time in self-indulgence. Retract your accusation and stop doubting the wisdom of the gods with such absurd conjectures!
I am not alone in my doubts, you know. All the children of Fontaine may be harboring the exact same thoughts right now. Oh, great Hydro Archon. How are you going to save them? Save us? How are the people you've sworn to protect supposed to survive in a land that will soon disappear beneath the waves?
I have my ways, and I've been working on them for all this time. Even if you look down upon me, you have no right to judge me. Fontaine will be saved, even even if I still cannot see the true future right now, as long as I continue on as I am, I will be able to hold my head up high!
Then I ask you, Miss Farina, just what have you been working on? Where can we see it, and what is it doing to help?
My machinations are just like the prophecy itself. They will only reveal themselves at the fated time. It is just that beings like yourselves are unable to perceive them as of yet.
I see. As a god, the proof of your labor always lies beyond prying mortal eyes. Allow me to be so bold as to ask another way. Would it be possible for you to tell us the parts of your plan that are not confidential? Such as your emergency response plan for the impending disaster?
An emergency response plan?
Oh, that look in your eyes. Have you not even prepared one of those?
The emergency response plan is also strictly confidential.
Then allow me to jog your memory. Miss Farina, what is the purpose of your Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal? And what do you plan to do with the massive amounts of indemnitium that has accumulated over the years?
The Oratrice? It's just like it appears to be.
So you also have no idea. If I'm not mistaken, someone's using it to prepare for something. But unfortunately, it would seem that someone is not you, Miss Farina. I first caught wind of this when Lyney tried to investigate the Oratrice in the Opera House. You see, even just getting close to the core contaminated him with an extremely large amount of indemnitium. But even if that had nothing to do with you, then what could you possibly be working on, oh great Hydro Archon? Oh, right. I almost forgot. Iudex Neuvillette is not at the tea party with us today. Miss Farina, I suppose you must have ordered him away to take care of some troublesome business.
Yes, that's exactly right. Please keep it a secret for me.
Of course I will. Although, I must say, Miss Farina, you seem quite insecure without the Iudex by your side. Oh, very well. Let's stop that conversation here. There are still a few slices of cake left, so please, help yourselves, everyone. Traveler, I heard that you were recently commissioned to handle a few matters on behalf of the Iudex. Why don't you take an extra slice of cake? Those who work hard deserve gratitude and praise. You too, Paimon.
Thank you. Paimon will take you up on that offer. Oh, Paimon's super full. That cake was great.
If it's on my tea table, it must be of the highest quality. Yes, and we must thank the knave for bringing these over as well.
You're welcome. I'm sure the cake also felt greatly honored to be featured at Miss Farina's table, and I was merely catering to Miss Farina's tastes, seeking a chance to chat over tea. It is getting late. Why don't we call it a day? There are still a few matters that I need to take care of, so I must take my leave now.
Very well. We'll end it here.
Mind seeing me off, Traveler? We could use the opportunity to discuss Child before I must be on my way. I'm glad that you were willing to come with me. Of course, Child was just an excuse. I have no interest in your dealings with him.
That's what Paimon thought.
You lent your aid to the children of the House of the Hearth. As their father, I would like to express my gratitude. Do I look like an irresponsible father to you? The House of the Hearth is very important to me. You should know that I care deeply about my children. That was all. Formal topics should be discussed in formal settings, and informal topics in informal settings. I know you just returned from the fortress of Meripede. Relax. I have no intention of trying to get anything out of you. Lyney, Lynette, and Freminet are still there, and I trust their judgment and abilities.
They've all been working very hard and have always done all they can to fight back against anyone who tried to stop them. Especially Lyney.
You mean Wriothesley. He's a tricky one to deal with. It's unfortunate that Lyney's so eager to prove himself that he can't learn to rely on others, including me. By the way, and you can just consider this a bit of idle gossip, but what's your impression of Furina? You are outside of our disputes, and the freest person in all of Fontaine, able to move around most easily. Allow me to share my perspective with you.
And that's everything that happened during the trial. Master Child was declared guilty and immediately transported to the Fortress of Meripede.
Didn't he say he was coming here on vacation? Does he not feel an ounce of shame for all the trouble he has caused? Forget it. He did give us an opportunity. I will be meeting someone shortly.
Do you require help with any preparations?
No need. I will take care of it. I need to meet with Furina, the Hydro Archon. She is at the heart of Fontaine. But what's fascinating about her is that she often seems more like a celebrity than a working Archon.
Oh? Come over here, you little critter, you! You dare to run from me? Stop right this instant!
My goal is just to discover the location of the Gnosis. But I didn't expect the chance to approach Furina to be handed to me on a silver platter. This is so easy, it's actually making me a bit suspicious. Anything left unguarded is usually just bait. But no one will blame someone for taking the bait. After all, from the moment it was attached to the hook, the bait is meant to be sacrificed. It's just as I guessed in the second before I struck. The Hydronosis is not currently held by the Archon. In fact, this Archon doesn't seem like a god at all. And I sense that she's under some kind of curse.
Who are you? And what are you trying to do? Please don't kill me. I'm begging you.
The fear in her pupils is genuine, so perhaps she's not bait after all. Either way, targeting her has lost all meaning. I left the scene with ease. Nobody came looking for me, and nobody could serve as a witness to my near assassination of Focalor. I suspect even Furina dares not mention this incident to anyone. Not long after, my informants confirmed what I had guessed. After returning to her quarters, Furina quietly cried alone. She was so scared that she could not sleep that night, nor could she even bring herself to eat her cake. There's no doubt that there's something wrong with her. I began to entertain the possibility that she is not the true Hydro Archon. Perhaps Iudex Neuvillette is actually the genuine article. I have to find the Gnosis. If the Neuvillette hypothesis is correct, he is probably in possession of it. Alternatively, it might have been hidden in a place that's hard for ordinary people to access.
Yes, Father.
My dear children, please speak.
News from the Fortress of Meropide. Master Child has gone missing. On top of that, the contacts and guards we bribed at the fortress have all gone quiet as well.
Probably the handiwork of that Wriothesley.
I'm afraid so.
This is a good opportunity. The value of a Harbinger is much higher than most would imagine. We now have an excuse to exert diplomatic pressure. Set up a meeting for me. I would like to meet the Hydro Archon and Iudex Neuvillette. Oh, and I have an additional mission for you three.
Yes, Father.
Tartaglia's disappearance was not a part of my plan, but I can use it to make a breakthrough. With this as my the initiative belongs to the House of the Hearth. My wish to investigate the Fortress of Meropide will be a front. Lyney and his group will be responsible for the actual intelligence gathering. You should know the rest. Lyney's group is quite close to you, so they wouldn't have
You attacked the—
It wouldn't mean anything, even if you shouted it from the rooftops. After all, even Furina— I've now had 2 chances to enjoy tea with Furina. I have to say, the leadership of Fontaine is even more inscrutable than I had imagined. I am a servant of Her Majesty the Tsaritsa. Over my years of service, I've learned how a real Archon conducts and carries themselves. Whether Iudex Neuvillette or Furina, neither fits the bill. Of course, that is all just how I feel. Gut feelings often do not require justification. It is, however, quite amusing to me that after all my years working in intelligence gathering, I've come to realize I am at a complete loss regarding the identity of the god of the land of my birth. Don't you think Fontaine is quite intriguing? A catastrophe looms, yet many secrets have yet to rise to the surface. It looks like Fontainians will have no choice but to save themselves. Ultimately, though, one must survive in order to do anything else. Should the need arise, I would be You don't need to commit to anything right now, of course. I have a feeling that the situation will continue to evolve, and as your name is often connected with noble deeds, I'm sure we will work together someday. He certainly returned quickly. You must want to catch up with each other.
Neuvillette?
For now, yes. But this issue will prove quite thorny in the long term. Thank you for protecting Furina. To put it simply, I used my power to force back the Primordial Sea and So as expected, the Knave has turned up the pressure on Furina. Permission granted.
Whoa. It can't be that you're the real Hydro Archon. You can't tell us? Then that's okay. We can talk about something else. We won't try to force you.
If by the phrase "you guys" you are referring to Furina and I, then although I'm not sure just what you are trying to imply, I must clarify that I do not share her positions on a multitude of topics. I believe so. The fortress has a long and complex history. It has seen much grief and suffering. And now, another catastrophe will soon be upon us. I mourn this turn of events.
Huh? Why is it raining all of a sudden?
You may be closer to the truth than you think.
Oh? And what are you thinking? The dragon of... what? Huh?
Please do not be so surprised. Furina? Ah, my apologies.
We were just guessing randomly. We didn't guess right, did we? You're not actually...
You guessed correctly. I sincerely hope you'll be able to keep this a secret for me.
Right, of course. There's still something Paimon wants to ask you, though.
Please, go ahead.
Well, if you are the Dragon Sovereign of Water, and you were able to... Then since Fontaine's prophecy is all about seawater, couldn't you just use your power to solve the crisis?
None of the currently living dragon sovereigns in the world, myself included, possess our full dragonhood. They say that when the first usurper arrived on Teyvat, they seized a part of the dragon's power. Today, that stolen power is the basis of the Archon's authorities.
There are 7 elemental Archons and 7 matching dragon sovereigns.
The dragon sovereign of water who lived through that era perished a long time ago. As their successor, I know far less of that part of our ancient history. In any case, I believe I will not be able to do much unless the Archon disappears and returns their elemental authority to me. Given the status quo, however, I would recommend finding another way to deal with the prophecy.
Oh, so even you can't solve...
I still have some urgent matters to attend to at my office. If you have any more questions regarding ancient history, you are welcome to...
Please go right ahead. There's a place that Paimon wants to go too. Traveler, we'll see you another time.
Take care.
Clear skies can do nothing to hide the brilliance of lightning. Divine bolts can strike even in the absence of rain.